Ernabel Demillo is professor of journalism and lecturer of communications at St. Peter's College. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great having you. By the way, background, before you got to St. Peter's, you have an extensive and impressive career in broadcast journalism. Talk about it.
Yeah, I still consider myself a journalist.
Once a journalist?
Yeah, always a journalist,
That's
right? For 20 years. I started really young.
Sure did. Right out of grammar school.
Exactly. A television journalist. In fact, I worked here in New York for 10 years as a morning reporter, and pretty much everything I filled in. You know, I was a fill-in anchor, I was a feature reporter, consumer reporter, investigative, entertainment for Fox 5's Good Day New York.
Right. And it's interesting. There's some life-changing things that went on for you because you made a transition from broadcast journalism to academia, having something to do with family?
Yes. It usually is the case, right?
It usually is the case, right?
When my daughter turned 2, I actually left my career full time. I wanted to really devote, my life to her. She was 2 years old, and when she started school when she started kindergarten, I decided that I really should probably think about my next career path. We know what they call that on-ramp, my next career.
That's right.
But I knew I did not want to do broadcast journalism full time because it takes a lot of commitment. And I started applying for jobs in academia. And I have a master's, and I thought, okay, I could maybe adjunct as a professor, and it was perfect timing, Steve. At that time, St. Peter's College decided that they wanted to start a journalism program. So it was a perfect fit for me.
And Gene Konaki, the president, told me about you, and he said, we have some pretty terrific faculty members who have real-life experience in journalism. I said, who? And he told me about you. I said, wait a minute, she's great. And I thought to myself, what a great opportunity for those students to really learn what journalism really is. Talk to us about how the profession has changed and how then you have to in turn teach differently to the profession in the last 10 years, just say.
Oh, God, in the last, I left in 2005, and Steve, this is before Facebook, before YouTube,
so
before Twitter.
5 years then.
Oh my gosh, and so much has changed. And when they put this program together, I looked at the curriculum and the classes they were offering, and I said, we're going to have to make some changes already. Because
you knew right away.
Yeah, I knew right away. I mean, we're talking about, because a lot of the internships now, they're asking that these kids know how to blog, know how to Twitter, know how to shoot their own video, know how to edit, on programs that are as, complicated as something called Final Cut Pro.
Sure.
And so I said, we need to actually give our kids, along with the writing and the researching, the reporting skills, we need to give them also these real world skills, because this is the only way they're going to stay competitive with the other journalism students who are graduating at the other colleges.
How have they responded?
They've actually been great. That's what I love about St. Peter's. They understand that I come from that world, and that I know what is expected of our students when they enter the workforce. And so they were great about allowing me, to start these classes. Because I know at some of the other schools, you have to go through this committee and that committee, and
Are you implying there's bureaucracy in certain academic
Not at all,
institutions?
Steve.
How dare you say that?
I know, not at all.
But what's interesting, in the teaching I've done in journalism and media, and by the way, how many producers do we have that I've stolen from the colleges I've taught? Many, yeah.
Good for you.
It's true. And in fact, our producer today, Jackie Cook, you're doing a fabulous job at another institution, Montclair State, right?
Yeah, they have a great program there.
Well, they have great students, and Jack and Velez, you too. I know you're in the control room. But here's the deal: when people come up to me, younger people, and say, "Hey, I want to do what you do. I want to go into journalism, media," I'm not so quick to say, "Hey, do that." I'll often say to them, "Look, it's not what it was, but I don't know what it could be. But I'll tell you this: you better learn about business. You better learn about how programming is put together. You better learn about networks and how they function and how you can bring more value, because new general manager comes in."
Yes, I mean, you have to probably look for a new job.
Because it's just the way I got to have new people, right?
Yep.
No rhyme or reason. It just happens.
Yeah.
How do you keep upbeat about the industry with all that going on with those students?
I know, right. First of all, I have to say you have to really, and you know this, Steve, you have to really love journalism.
Because you get rejected 50,000 times.
It's worse than, I know, it's worse than acting, right?
Worse.
And
Steve, you just don't have the right look. What? What am I going to do? It's
or they
the
don't
look.
like any, they don't like
even tell you.
Or, they don't even tell you.
Know. Go ahead.
They won't get back to you. So I tell them you have to actually really love this, because first of all, I mean, think about when we were getting into it, how much were we getting paid? Really? Yeah, right.
I don't even want to say. Go ahead.
I know, right? So, and the salaries haven't changed, right? And I say, I wanted to do this. And it was something that I was just so focused and determined because I love journalism. And I actually try to instill that in them first.
A love of journalism?
A love of journalism, because I want them to understand what their responsibilities are as a journalist and how they can change the world that way. And what's so great about this new media is that they can change the world in their own way. And so we've started a website for my multimedia class.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's called The Dirt on Jersey City. In fact, you can...
Whoa. The Dirt on Jersey City?
The Dirt on Jersey City.
Go ahead, I interrupted you.
Yes, it's a hyper-local website that focuses on Jersey City and seen through the eyes of a younger generation. So they chose the demo. It's 13 to 25. That's the demo that they're going after.
And are they producing packages?
Yeah, they're producing news stories with video. They're doing podcasting.
What's the website?
It's thedirtonjerseycity.com.
And they can just go there and find out?
Yes, and they could start, yeah, you could log on right now.
But there's no dirt in Jersey City.
Well, you have to get the intel on Jersey City, and you could tell us too if you know what's going on.
So it's interesting, they don't have to go through the news director and 17 other people through the bureaucracy of the news division, get your story on the air, right?
They just have to go through me.
So you're the editor.
Yeah, I have to edit.
You're the managing editor, right?
I have to make sure that the grammar's correct.
Exactly.
They're not libeling anybody.
Minor detail, right?
Yeah.
But you have to do that. But what does it do for them when they actually see it? I was going to say on air, but on the web, their stuff.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's such a thrill for them to actually see. Because you remember when you used to watch, not even when you used to see your name published somewhere, something that you wrote. What a thrill that was, right? Yes. And so they get that too, and it's easy for them because a lot of their, like their future employers or the people who are coordinating, hiring for internships, they ask them for work examples. They just give them the website.
So they're getting out of school with content that they can use on their demo reel, except it's not the demo reel anymore.
Yeah, right. No.
Right? But
yeah.
I mean, how practical?
Oh, I mean, this is all practical. And I also teach them about, here, the reason why we have this website, though, is that we need to start opening up our own worlds. I mean, you guys have to be curious what's going on in Jersey City. There's so much going on there. And because we are in the shadows of New York City, a lot of these stories are lost. Sort of like all the things that you guys do here at your station. And
But I'm sorry for interrupting. Do you miss being on air right now?
I am on air.
No, but do you know what's so funny?
Do I miss being you?
Yeah, no, but I mean, dead serious. Like, I look at someone like you and I go, you got it, obviously,
thanks,
right?
Steve.
Do you say to yourself, I want to go back? I mean, because you're doing a lot of it now. You're making a huge difference at St. Peter's with these kids. You could never go back full time, right?
No, not like that. I mean, especially morning show. I mean, I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning. That life I don't miss. That life I don't miss having to worry about a big disaster happening and running to it as opposed to running away from it.
But if you could dabble, like if we created a little situation where we could collaborate and do something, you'd be great.
This would be fun.
I'm actually producing in my head right now, I swear.
Are you? Okay,
I'm thinking of all kinds of ideas.
You.
And by the way, isn't that part of it? You have to, someone says, I'm waiting for someone to come up with a good idea. No, come up with your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, you are terrific. St. Peter's is lucky to have you, but we're even luckier to have you.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
We could do good things together.
I like that.